I think check. We're all live on the radio. Check. We're live on Facebook, and check. My mic is on. How about that? A trifecta here this morning. I've done all three things. Now, the next step will be if I can bring what I think I can bring to you right here live on Facebook. But regardless, things will move on. How you doing this morning? I tell you what, it is good to be with you. We've been talking a little bit behind the curtain here, and now we're live on Facebook right here at WCRS 98.5 / 1450 AM. I am Ann Eller. And I do want to remind you, we just played the ad for John McCravy's Patriots event coming up this evening. No rest for the weary here. This is hosted by John McCravy, Senator Billy Garrett, and Representative Daniel Gibson, and it is the Patriots Barbecue honoring Lakeland's veterans and first responders, and a free Fat Daddy's dinner. This is kind of tradition out there at the farmers market. It is from 5:30 to 7:30, so the life flight, as they say, will be coming in at 5 o'clock. This is an event for adults and children. It is okay to bring the family, because this is what they're going to be doing, celebrating our patriotism, celebrating those that help protect us. And again, it's out at the old Greenwood Farmers Market. I got to write down what the name of this. The Greenwood County Recreation. I like the old Civic Center better. What do you think? Anyways, that's what I always used to call it. But anyways, it's actually, I believe, the Greenwood Recreational Center. I think that's right. Which has turned into a highly profitable, highly busy area. My goodness, you drive by there and there's always something going on, which is, of course, what they wanted. So come on out. They're going to start feeding, I think, at 5:30, and so if you want to get there early, you might get there a little early, because I expect there's going to be a line, because there usually is. Of note, Sherry Biggs is, Representative Sherry Biggs will be there, and we will have already had our interview with Sherry, because Sherry's stopping by the studio this afternoon at 2, and we'll be doing a pop-up interview with her. What do you think of this technology that I'm using now? Are you impressed? Nah, not really. Okay. The thing that I really like about it, I'll just be perfectly frank. The thing that I really like about it is how quickly we can get it up to the website. And, there used to be a 2, 3, 4 day lag on getting those podcasts that we did up there to the website. And so this way, it is pretty easy. It does take a couple of steps to do it, to get it onto our website, which is going to our YouTube. So from that standpoint, it has made things move a lot quicker. Now, having to look at my face, I don't know. But anyways, it is something that makes it move quicker. So the Patriots barbecue will be coming up this evening. I plan to be there. I'll probably be getting some quick interviews, which I may bring you on Friday. If anybody has anything important to say, that's right. But Sherry Biggs, I am doing an interview with her at 2 o'clock this afternoon, and that will be Facebook Live, so that'll be posted right then and there. And then she will be speaking tonight at the event. So it's going to be an excellent event. They've got lots of events and people and whatnot going on. So if you can be there for a free Fat Daddy's dinner, and you want to walk away feeling very patriotic, then come to this event. And that's why I say we should bring our children. Now, I'm not talking about babies necessarily, but those that can appreciate what is happening. I think so many times we pass on doing these things that would really make a difference in a child's amazement and awe for our country. And I think that's one thing that is sometimes can be missing is that lack of patriotism for our country. So I applaud John McCravey and Senator Garrett and Daniel Gibson for putting this event on. All right, so now, yesterday, as I said earlier before we went live on Facebook, I had an person-to-person interview with Pamela, Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evett. Of course, you know she's running for governor, and you know that I think she's terrific. And I can say that because I have spoken with her at least once a month for the last 6 years. So that is why I say that she is a terrific candidate for the governor. She brings a lot more to the table than all the others do. Now, all the rest of them have qualifications, but are they ready to lead on day one? That is the question. The good thing about Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evett, she's been traveling our state, traveling. In fact, I'm going to start introducing her as the lieutenant governor that I've been everywhere, man. That's right, because she has been everywhere in our state. She knows every corner of it. And, well, I don't need to tell you this. Why don't I let her tell you what we talked about? So what we're going to do, we are going to, if I can just find this place right here, I can play our interview from yesterday right here on WCRS radio, except I'm going to go over here, and there you go. Now we're going to be able to watch it right here. Those of you that are on the radio will be able to hear it. I hope you enjoy it. I certainly enjoyed having this opportunity out at Old 8. We actually were upstairs on the second floor in the more private offices, so we had good acoustics. So without further ado, let's hear the Lieutenant Governor, Pamela Evett, and Ann Eller talking about her quest to be our next governor for the great state of South Carolina. Notice how I pop up. All right, well, guess what? It's time for my mystery guest. And yes, I'm out here at Old 8, formerly Stony Point, and I have found my special guest for this afternoon, for this evening, fresh off a big time with talking to people and having an event and seeing what's happening out here at Old 8. Let me rotate that around and say, hello, Pamela Evett. How are you?
I'm doing good, Ann, and it's good to see you face to face. Usually we do this on the first Thursday of every month, and we're talking on the phone.
That's right. And, you know, my new theme song for you is I've Been Everywhere.
Well, thank you. I do feel like I've been everywhere.
Right.
But it's great. It's, you know, it's so funny, and people say all the time, Lieutenant Governor, you were really moving around. But I tell people, you should go back to my social media. I've been moving around this much for the 7 years I've been Lieutenant Governor. And it's wonderful to get out and meet people and hear what people are thinking and what they're hoping for, what their challenges are, and what we're doing really good.
So, you're right. You've been doing this since the very beginning. And how is it? What is it that people want?
So I think, you know, we're not, if you look on the map, we're not the biggest state in the nation. But we have such different needs, wants as you move around the state. Mm-hmm. So here in the upstate, people have, you know, different issues than they have at the coast. In the coast, they really put an emphasis on beaches and beach renourishment and a lot on, you know, how do we bring like indigenous plants back to stop coastal erosion. Right. So there's just different things. And in the Midlands, different problems. Looking for more economic development, you go out to Florence and Darlington, now you're dealing with our farmers. You go out to Edgefield and you hear about what they need. And a lot of what they need, thank God we have President Trump in office, because what they need is people to put a spotlight on them and help with commodity prices and not let other countries take advantage of us. And so, again, thank God for President Trump, because he's about the only guy who can fix that problem for them.
Well, he has definitely, talking to somebody tonight, and they were saying, he's done everything he said he was going to do.
Promises made, promises kept. That's why, Ann, I supported him when I was in the business sector. I supported him because I felt we needed a businessman at the helm. And, as I watched President Trump when he ran the first time, I used to tell people all the time, that man does not need this job, but that job needs that man. And so that's why I've been a supporter of his from day one and continue to be a supporter of his today. And I couldn't be more proud when I saw him bring 20 hostages back home to their family. I don't think anybody else could have gotten that done.
That's true. That's true. Now, if we could just get through this shutdown.
Yep. And we got, well, you know what we have to do, Ann? Got to get the Democrats back to work.
That's true.
And start fighting for the American people and solving problems that American people are dealing with, and stop worrying about their agendas and putting money back in that's wasted money. The American taxpayer is tired of all these initiatives that are going across the globe when we have issues here in this country that really need addressing.
I think one of the big things is people have to realize it's their money.
Yeah.
Yet, I think we talk about the government. It's the government. It's not our money. It's the government's money, right? We forget that it's our money, and we should have a voice. Yes, we should have a voice.
Absolutely.
So, Pam, one of the things that you have been a great lieutenant governor with Governor McMaster, but you want to carry on. But are there any things that you want to change going forward?
So, I get asked this question a lot, Ann, and maybe you and I have talked about it in the past. We have an amazing legacy. We can talk about tax cuts and pay increases for our law enforcement and signing bills that, just strengthen parental rights and economic development and jobs created and our technical colleges and our WIN scholarships, all these great things. So that's a great legacy.
Right.
We've continued to grow, and any business person can tell you, as you continue to grow, you kind of hit this plateau place, and I think that's where we are. So the next issues, the next governor is going to have to face is going to be things like energy. There'll be different issues, but really rooted in the foundation that we've put in place. We need to worry about energy. And some big announcements today. Santee Cooper is looking to solidify some contracts so that we can get VC Summer resurrected, because we need energy here in South Carolina.
Right.
Working on the 30-year water plan. All the jobs of the future, they're going to take a lot of energy and they're going to take a lot of water. And so, these are new issues that are coming up. The workforce of tomorrow that we're going to have to start preparing for and building, those are different jobs that are coming. And then what kind of businesses do we now want to bring in here? And let's look at the reality.
So is that what your position, that's how you see your position going forward?
I do. I mean, anybody who's run a company, and I've run a company for a long time, when you're the CEO of your company, or when you're the CEO of a state, you have got to keep a lot of balls in the air all at the same time. You can't just focus on one thing. So any candidate that tells you this is the one thing I'm going to focus on, they're going to be dropping a lot of balls, and that's probably not a good thing to have happen. But
that's why we need a woman in charge named Pamela Evatt, right?
There you go, Ann. I believe that too. We do need a woman in charge, and it needs to be Pamela Evatt. So, but for me, we have to work on efficiency, bring in business principles now. If we want to bring the careers of tomorrow to South Carolina, well, then we have to start leveraging technology with inside government so we can start working efficiently. When we can work efficiently, we can drive, efficiency to the bottom line. Mm-hmm. And I say that because in business, when you're efficient, you bring money to the bottom line. In government, when you're running efficient, I don't need as much of your money to run government. Right. And that's how we get to making South Carolina a zero state income tax state.
Well, that's a good question. So how do we get to that, though? I don't understand. I know you talk about it, but you haven't given us any that I've seen, any nuts and bolts about how we'll get there.
Well, and that's easy. We're going to start out with efficiency, because states that have really started to lean in and leverage AI and technology, their estimated savings are about $900 million a year. That's a lot of money, Ann. And then we continue our growth, bringing in the careers and the jobs of the future, and we get those businesses here. And we continue to have surpluses like we've had year after year with our state's growth. There's not one silver bullet that gets there. There's a lot of things that have to work together. And it's probably going to take one step before you get to there, but we can do it faster than we're doing it. And we're going to have to rein in spending.
Well, now here's my next question.
Sure.
Because here's the problem,
Okay.
I think, is that we had a legislature this last year that didn't get much done and spent a lot of time, and we had a total Republican force, and yet they didn't get enough done. My question to you is how, as the leader here, as the governor, are you going to get these two bodies to work together and bring them to the table?
So, that's a great question. We worked on some really important things this year, really groundbreaking. We passed what I like to call a big, beautiful energy bill here in South Carolina. That took a lot of time. That took a lot of debate. We passed tort reform here in South Carolina.
Still more needs to be done.
Yeah, absolutely, and you and I have talked about that. And I think the one thing that gave me hope is at the end, I heard the Speaker of the House, the President of the Senate, the Governor and I all stood together at a press conference and said, this is just the beginning. And everybody vowed to go back into session in 2026 and continue that work. But there was a lot of debate on that. So what we did is we tackled a lot of big things that were a long time coming, but there were a lot of different personalities involved in that, a lot of different wants, a lot of different ideas. So, sometimes it's not quantity, it's quality, and what did we pass, and were those things going to take us where we needed to go? And energy is something we will not be able to grow if we can't stay and keep our energy affordable and reliable. So the resurrection of VC Summer is a huge deal. One other thing in that energy bill that was big was taking a coal plant and turning it into a natural gas plant. So if you looked at the PD Horry County area, there was such a need for natural gas that building was starting to come to a halt, and they were looking for alternate methods. So, these were all big things. And I remember when I first got elected, one of the old timers that's now retired was in the House, and he told me, Lieutenant Governor, government was designed to move slowly, because if we move too fast, just imagine how many bad decisions could be made.
I thought that was the Senate that was the deliberative body.
I think you're saying government in general needs to move slower, but it does get frustrating because there are so many things that need to be done. But I think the governor has done a great job, because when the tort reform bill was being argued in the House and the Senate, and there were very different views on that, we had a press conference, and the governor basically said to both bodies, he said, listen, we can do this. Go back and do the work of the people. We can protect businesses and South Carolinians at the same time.
Well, I hope so, because I thought there were a lot of things that didn't make it out of the House or got stuck. They made it out of the House and didn't make it into the Senate.
Our deliberative body.
Our deliberative body is too darn deliberative. So the other day I saw where you were talking about the judicial, how we select our judges.
Yes.
Do only what is it? Virginia and South Carolina have the policy. What do you think should be the policy? Should the governor pick and then have them confirmed? Or what do you think about the way we do it now?
So I have kind of laid that out and have been talking about it a lot. I believe the governor should appoint and the General Assembly can confirm. It should be based on merit, criteria that we know that will serve us well in picking judges. Mm-hmm. They should have term limits, and there should be a review process. So I think it's very
You mean it's
simple.
not a seat forever?
It's not a seat forever.
As a judge?
Yeah, I don't think anybody deserves a seat forever. That's why we talked about the ending of tenure. And I mean, if anybody cheers loud on any of the talking points I talk about, is judicial reform and ending tenure. Because what other industry can you work and then have your job be just rooted in stone? You can't be fired. It doesn't matter what your output is. This is a very archaic way of thinking. And the Speaker of the House is excited that I'm talking about it and kind of weighed in on and said he's hoping that gets momentum.
Well, yeah, I would think that would be good. But we keep being stuck by this, and we keep hearing the same good old boys. The good old boys system. That's what you keep hearing about the judicial.
Well, and I think when you look at our judicial system, and we've seen what happened to President Trump and how the judicial system was used against him, for 4 years. That's what people are afraid of. Justice should always be blind. And
I agree.
And justice should be delivered fairly and evenly across the board. We need more prosecutors that are willing to prosecute and not plea down. And if that means we need more prosecutors, then we need somebody to step up and say that, and let's figure this out. We need judges that are willing to give the maximum sentences to people, especially our most heinous of criminals, and get them off the street so they can't hurt anybody else.
Absolutely. So you're on the record on that one. Now, what about, somebody brought a point up to me. School choice, academics, and extracurriculars. Are you aware that homeschool students often can't choose where they play sports in public schools?
So, I think that's based on district, because in some districts, if you live in the district and you're a homeschool student, you can play sports in your district, high school, middle school, whatever the case may be. Some districts I'm hearing that they don't allow that. So I don't understand why they wouldn't in a district if you pay tax dollars there. But I say, Ann, all the time, a lot of the questions that people ask me that they're frustrated about are really local issues. And I have always heard, and I now know it because I have a bird's eye view, is that local politics affects people's day-to-day lives more than what we do at the state, more than what happens in the federal government. And so when you're talking about infrastructure problems, building, what we're doing in schools and things like that, I tell everybody all the time, school board meetings and county council meetings should be more well attended than Friday night football games.
Well, that's an interesting point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Everybody needs to go there and hear what's happening.
Or watch it on a live video, or watch it on live videos.
Watch it live, but know what's happening and weigh in, because these are the things that put businesses where you may want them, may not want them, housing developments where you may want them, may not want them, things happening in your schools, right, that you need to be on top of.
Absolutely. We have an issue on more solar panels going in, and it's going to be a hot topic here in Greenwood. It was already a hot topic last night at the meeting, and they have a third meeting coming up in a couple of weeks, and it's really people are going to weigh in on that.
And people really do need to weigh in. And so, but that's how you find out what's happening. How many times have you heard, like, oh my gosh, this passed, I didn't even know we were talking about that, right? And I understand it. When you're working all day and you're cooking dinner for your family, or you're cutting grass and you got to get your kids to bed and you got to get some work done, it's hard to keep your finger on everything. And thank you to journalists and you, Ann. I mean, conservative talk radio is a way a lot of people now find out what's happening.
Absolutely. That's why you're right here with me out here at Old 8 here this evening.
Absolutely.
What do you think of this development out here?
This is wonderful. I was telling Jim that every time I've come out, I think my first time out here was about 8 years ago, and every time I come out here, it gets more beautiful, and I'm very excited about the economic impact that this is going to have. I think this is going to be, we have some great ideas about how this could work, getting our golfers moving from the Masters up to the Heritage. what a great place to stop right here in Greenwood. This is going to be a beautiful facility. Greenwood is a wonderful place. And I've been here an awful lot over the last 7 years, and I think you're going to see big things happening in Greenwood, but this facility is beautiful. I told Jim this gets more beautiful every time I come out here.
Absolutely. It's changing. So I think I would like to ask you one last question.
All right.
We've got the issue of abortion out there, and they currently have a bill in the House that has passed, but it hasn't passed in the Senate. The Senate has their own version. There seems to be a lot of question about going to zero abortions. The House version seems a little bit more, I'll use the word liberal. It has a lot of opportunity for those that have issues, mothers having issues and this type of thing. The Senate version is a little bit more restrictive. Do you think this issue should go on the ballot?
Wow. I'm very pro-life. I work with South Carolina Citizens for Life. My family, we go to the march every year. I testified in the House and the Senate for the heartbeat bill. I have looked at what has happened in other states, Ann, and I'll tell you, I think South Carolina, we did very well with the heartbeat bill. People like the heartbeat bill. I think if you put something on the ballot, if you look at what's happened in other states, you'll get a lot of pro-choice people that will only go out and vote for one issue. They may not vote for anything else, but they'll go, and we could lose what people like Lisa Van Riper and Holly Gatning and Alexa Newman have fought for years and years and years if it goes on the ballot.
Do you think the heartbeat bill is far enough?
I always wish for a day where nobody searches for an abortion, but that's going to come with changing people's hearts and not just their minds. And I love what South Carolina Citizens for Life are doing, because they're talking about, loving them both, not just the baby in the womb, but loving the mother. And something I guess I don't talk about enough is I worked with an organization that asked for money, Children's Trust, for the Nurse Mom Partnership Program. And that's where at-risk moms can get a nurse partner. If they can't give it to everybody, we don't have enough funding, right. But your OBGYN kind of connects you with this program. And I met a wonderful woman whose family wanted her to get an abortion. She didn't want to. They put her with a nurse partner. That nurse partner was making sure she went to her doctor's appointments, took her prenatal vitamins. She has a beautiful baby. But during the course of that, she got her one of our WIN scholarships. This young mom went to Greenville Tech, got a degree in HR, and now works for Greenville County in their HR department.
Wow. And
what we did there is we gave her hope for that baby. We broke the cycle of poverty. And I was so sold on this, I just asked one question: what do you need from me? And they said, can you get us $250,000 out of the General Assembly? Because if you do that, we'll get $750,000 from the federal government. We'll have $1 million to help moms and to encourage. And when we continue with programs like that get young moms, single moms, or maybe married moms that didn't have great role models,
right?
When we can cultivate more plans like that, I believe it will go to zero organically on its own.
Well, isn't that the way it should be?
Exactly.
It should be that way.
But you have to change people's hearts.
Yes.
Because we had generations of young people who are now not so young that were sold a bill of goods by Planned Parenthood and the pro-choice movement. And now we have to take a focused effort and get our message out. And I think it will happen on its own. But we have to dispel all these myths that they created over the years, that, we don't care about the moms and we don't care about the children after they're born. And when we keep doing things like this in South Carolina to help those moms and those children, then we take that argument away from them and we start to create a better generation.
Did you get them the $250,000?
I did.
Well, then congratulations. So they got $1 million to be able to do that.
They did, and I'm going to fight for it again this year, and the payback from the federal government will even be more.
That is terrific. And that is, and Children's Trust, I think, is a lot of people don't know that much about it. It does a lot of great work.
It does a lot of great work. Not only does it have the Nurse Mom Partnership Program, it has the in-home visits to where they can go in homes and make sure that home environments are safe. And they give parental classes because they want to intervene before DSS gets involved.
Right.
And that's one thing you don't want is children caught in the DSS system. So they work with parents, they work inside the homes, they give parenting classes, and now they do this partnership. They do an awful lot. And it started at the federal level, and we have a great group here, and they partner with our hospitals and doctors.
Well, I hope that then maybe at some point you'll look at what Pathway does and see if there's not a pathway to be able to do that to get people out of homelessness, because what they're doing here at Pathway House is amazing.
It's wonderful, and I've been there. So,
right.
I mean, and I am always so encouraged because around the state we have an awful lot of people getting involved, especially in veteran homelessness. I mean, that seems to be a driving force. We have a tiny home community in Overy County that is doing great work, and we need to keep doing this because it's like I always say, and I got this expression from the governor: government has a 6-foot bed but only a 4-foot blanket, and we need our non-for-profits and our faith-based communities and our volunteers to fill up that 2-foot gap.
Well, Pamela Evett, you want to tell everybody out there why you should be the governor for the great state of South Carolina, endorsed by Ann Eller?
Absolutely, Ann. I think there's 3 reasons that really make me stand out from the pack. 1, I'm a conservative businesswoman, and I'm not a career politician. And that is what I see around the state that people really want. Somebody who has signed the front of paychecks, who have employed people, that have moved the needle. 2, I'm the only person that has stood with President Trump from the start. And, as I said earlier, that man never needed that job, but that job needed that man. And I knew that early on, and I always wanted a business person. Again, didn't want a career politician. And I was with him from day one. And when he came to South Carolina in January of 23, I was the only person that's now running for governor that stood with the president, shoulder to shoulder, when there was no polling to say it was politically the right thing to do, and when people across the country were looking to indict him, because I think loyalty matters. And what I think it might even be one of the most important reasons to choose me is because I have the resume to do the job. I've spent my life in the business sector creating a national company, signing paychecks and carving out budgets and creating big, bold plans. And that's what we need in government. So I say, look at the resumes of all the candidates. And if you wouldn't hire somebody to be the CEO of your company or manage the finances in your house, then you probably shouldn't vote for him for governor.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evett, right here at the beautiful facilities at Old 8.
Thank you so much, Ann. I look forward to talking to you in a couple weeks.
Couple of weeks, that's right. Hey, I'm Ann Eller. This is where we've been this afternoon. It's been great. Thank you so much, Pamela Evett. Bye-bye, everybody.
Well, there you go. And
all
now
right,
let's
guess
see.
what?
No,
It's time for my mystery guest. And
We're
yes,
going to
I'm
watch
out here
Ann.
at Old 8, formerly Stony Point.
Oh,
and
let's be quiet there, Ann. Let's get back to Ann's view here. There you go. We'll be right back here. I'm Ann Eller, and it is Thursday morning. I really enjoyed having that opportunity to sit down and discuss with her some of the issues. I hope you found those issues interesting. And we will be talking to her in 2 weeks. So I would like to challenge you, if you've got questions for the Lieutenant Governor, you don't have to wait till a week before or 30 minutes before or during. Go ahead and send me those questions so I can have them prepared when she calls in 2 weeks. So she'll be calling in the first Thursday of November, what will that be? The first Thursday in November. Actually, I guess will be the 6th of November. So we'll look forward to talking to her then. lot of interesting points she brought up. I don't know which ones you liked the best or if you liked any of them, but she is doing her job as lieutenant governor. She's also out there running for governor. So I am thrilled that she is in this position, and hope that we will see her at the level that we want to see her at, which is what? Governor and governor. That's right. All right. We've got, let's see, we've got some other things going on I wanted to make sure that you know about. I want to talk about leaf peeping. Yes, leaf peeping, because this is something that only happens once a year, and it is happening now. So let's see, have we got today through Sunday? They say that near Grandfather Mountain, Boone, for sustained color in Pisgah, target Forest Heritage Scenic Byway, looking glass rather than the highest balds. Sunday through Tuesday, escarpment in South Carolina updates overlooks at Caesar's Head, Table Rock, Sassafras was there a few weeks ago with Penny. Should push towards near peak as color continues dropping in elevation. So there you go. There are some reports out there if you want to check on your own and see what's good. Let's see. Appalachian State Fall Color Guy weekly reports. Grandfather Mountain Daily Gallery puts out a thing. You can go to Grandfather Mountain, and romantic Asheville forecast by elevation. So there you go. These are some of the sources that are out there. The South Carolina State Parks foliage page and Upcountry SC Weekly gives you updates about this. So if you want to go leaf peeping, this could be a very good weekend for leaf peeping. So I just thought I'd pass that along. Coming up this weekend, of course, is football. What's happening here on our high school football? Well, let's see what's happening on our local football. We have the Greenwood Eagles are playing J.L. Mann. That's a home game. The Emerald Vikings are having a home game. That's right, with Fountain Inn. 96 Wildcats are having, wow, everybody, home game with American Leadership. So those are the three biggies that are happening. Of course, there are more, but that's the list that I have right here. Now, on Saturday, what do we have for football? On Saturday, the 25th, South Carolina has a home game with Alabama. That's right. And Clemson is taking the day off. That's right. They have a bye week this week. Next week they'll be playing Duke. But they do have a bye week this week. So that's the thing. When you're planning events here in Greenwood, or I guess anywhere across the Southeast where football and football is big on both Saturday and Friday nights, it's hard to find a night where you can say, well, nobody is going to be totally absorbed with football. Yes, in Greenwood, there is a lot of football, and so and they're all home games for Greenwood, so that means tonight will be a lot of people at the football games. Saturday, Clemson people are freed up, so they'll be able to take advantage of For the Love of the festival that is in Uptown Greenwood. So I hope you will get out and enjoy that on Saturday. Friday night is, of course, the start of this event. So I think that, of course, is very, very, very cool. Freddie McClendon is going to be playing. God, let's see if I can get to I almost saw it. Yes, I can almost see it here. Is this it? This might be it. Yes. Freddie McClendon is playing on Friday evening. Friday with Freddie McClendon and the Whereabouts. That's right. That'll be going on. That's the headliner. And Saturday it is Congress the Band. Now, I'm not familiar with it, but I understand it's a big deal for younger people. So I may have to go find out what younger people like. Maybe. Anyways, Friday on the Oregon Avenue main stage. Now, contrary to popular belief, this is not exactly at the marketplace. It's actually up just a little bit there on Oregon Avenue where we used to have events. Friday from 6 to 7:30, Bad Weather States. 8 to 10, Freddie McClendon will be playing. That's Friday night. Saturday, Oregon Avenue for the main stage in the evening, 6 to 7:30 is the Mez, 8 to 10 is Congress the Band. But during the day on Saturday, they have a whole list of people that'll be playing all around the area. So from 12 to 2, venue performances, they'll be at all different places outside the businesses on Oregon and Maxwell. So we've got DJ and Gus, Tracy and Byron, Sprouse and Arnold, and Bobby Power. Some of these things may be subject to change, but this is what the list is saying right now. 12 to 2. From 2 to 4, the Chocolate Crackers, Madison Medlin, Matt Buckland, Open Range Band, and Chasing Eddie. That's from 2 to 4. From 4 to 6, Ashby Stokes and Audrey Adams, Jared Smith, Pope and Bert, and Flat Ties. And then from 6 to 7:30 on the main stage on Saturday, the Mez, and then Congress the Band takes the stage from 8 to 10. So that's pretty exciting for all the things. I wish them all the best with this new festival, For the Love of Music Festival. Question: Can you drink? Can you drink on the streets? Yes, if you purchase a $10 wristband, and they'll have a couple of tents. I understand they also have some cool merch that you'll be able to get too. So that's pretty cool too. So I hope you will check all of these things out. Starts this afternoon, 5 o'clock, 5:30, and they will have a lot of, what else? They have a lot of food trucks on Saturday, I understand. On Saturday, they're going to have a lot of food trucks. So that's a little bit about what is going on this weekend uptown. But what else is going on? Well, coming up is Wagaween. I think is that tonight or excuse me, Friday night. I believe that's Friday night. Wagaween is coming up. That, of course, is the big fundraiser for the Humane Society. So you'll want to check that one out. And tonight, they say, is trivia night at Chick-fil-A. Bring the family or a team, grab your favorite meal, and get ready to play. Trivia night is all about food, fun, and making memories together. So that's from 6 to 8 tonight at Chick-fil-A, a night full of fun, food, and friendly competition. And they say they're going to have awesome prizes. So do check that out. All right, so let me see what else I have. I'm just going to give you some random events because they're ones I've been putting on my page, so I want to make sure you know about it. Trunk or Treat, October 28th. So that is October 28th is Tuesday. Man, I tell you, when I grew up, Halloween was just on that night, right? And, whatever night Halloween was, that's when Halloween was. Man, kids today and adults get to celebrate all week, this weekend, next weekend. Some people even jumped out before this weekend to start celebrating. Anyways, trunk or treat. Tuesday evening at the Greenwood baseball field, October 28th, 5:30 to 7:30. Park in the bus lot, it says. So they'll have trick-or-treating out there. They're hosting this from 5:30 to 7:30 at Greenwood High School baseball field. Attendees are kindly requested to park in the bus lot located behind the baseball field. So that is another one to check out. But there is trunk or treating absolutely everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. All right, let's see what else I can put my hands on real quickly. I should have been better prepared here today. Events. Let's see what we got. Okay, we've talked about For the Love. Tomorrow at 5 p.m., they're having an art reception. A look at 2025, that is from 5 to 7, which is really part of For the Love of. Join us at the Art Center for the art reception for a local look 2025. The event will include hors d'oeuvres, a cash bar, live music by Barrel, and local art. This year's reception will coincide with a special event in Uptown Greenwood, For the Love of, and they want you to come out and have a good time. So the art exhibit, A Local Look, an annual exhibit of local artwork on view in the main gallery, October 1st to November 2nd. So you have another week to be able to check that out. If you don't make it to the reception, the art exhibit highlights artists 18 and older within Greenwood County, as well as members of 4 local art guilds, which include Greenwood Artists Guild, Greenwood Area Studio Potters, Greenwood Woodworkers Guild, and the Dolores Von Rosen Basketry Guild. Now that's one I didn't know about. So Howard's will be there serving up libations. It is free and open to the public. And they are usually open Tuesday through Friday from 10 to 5, Saturday from 10 to 3. So that'll be terrific. That is going on. So that kind of sums up a little bit about what we have going on right here in Greenwood. As I said, you've got Wagoween coming up. That's a big one every year. People love to dress up and have a good time at Wagoween. And like I said, that one does support the Humane Society. I think it's great, the love that the Humane Society gets. Last week with Ashley House helping sponsor an event out there at Burton Center. That sure was terrific. And so I hope you will take part in Wagoween coming up this weekend. Also wanted to say a big shout out to Shelley Reed for coming and letting me interview him this last week on Tuesday. His interview is on WCRS radio Facebook page. It's also on our website, WCRS 1450am.net. So check that out. It was a great interview. We covered a wide range, but most importantly, you're going to try to get to see Long Shadows. Now, I think the premiere the other night was sold out except for one seat in the back and several seats in the very front row where you'd be looking straight up the whole night. Not my pick, but it is totally, pretty well totally sold out. That's on November 6th, but then they will have nationwide opening on November 7th, and Shelley could not tell me whether it was going to be here in Greenwood or not, but of course it will be nationwide, but not every theater will be carrying it, and it may make it here. So we'll just have to wait and see if that's coming. But that is coming up on November 6th. November 6th. So that's another cool event that is going on. I did want to tell you, I did post this on our Facebook page, Law Talk. Data privacy, identity theft, and intellectual property, November 3rd at 6 p.m. That is going to be taking place at the Greenwood County Library System. And November 3rd, 6 to 7. You do have to register for it, so you'll have to look up the event, or maybe just be at the library and they can maybe help you with that. It says Law Talk will be held in the conference room 2 on the second floor, and it says registration is required and opens October 20th. So I hope you will check that out. Now, I told you, this is going to be wide-ranging because I'm just flipping through all the things that I put on my Facebook page. And if you're not following me on Facebook, you need to be following me on Facebook on WCRS 98.5 FM /1450 AM. I post a lot of community, what's happening, this type of thing. Plus, when I go live with a pop-up or I go live For the Love of It this weekend, you'll know what's going on. So that's why I say follow me on Facebook from WCRS 98.5 FM 1450 AM, and you'll be in the know first. All right. Community Initiatives is having a pediatric clinic on October 27th and November 10th. They'll be giving expert pediatric care and uninsured children seen at no cost. Appointments available. Call 864-223-7472, extension 2. So that is another good event. Also, by the way, next Tuesday at 11:30, it is the State of the City and the County. The State of the City and the County. I'll be there. Hope you will be there to find out what is going on. This is through the chamber. So go to the chamber if you'd like to register for that. It's always interesting. We've got all our leaders. We'll be giving some updates, and I'll be there to check it out and record it. So if you miss it, you may hear parts of it right here on WCRS. All right, coming up, Lake Greenwood State Park. They are doing this. They are having a Halloween Friday and Saturday, October 24th and 25th. 302 State Park Road in 96. Says there's a telephone number if you'd like to call it. 864-543-3535. Haunted Shores. Whoa! Park admission $5. Kids 6 to 15, $3. Kids 5 and under are free. Seniors, South Carolina senior, $3. All events free for registered camping guests. But they have all this stuff going on. It sounds very cool. You might want to check that out. That's the Lake Greenwood State Park. Friday, they're going to have a s'mores social. Saturday, Halloween jingo, Halloween crafts, and then a pumpkin carving contest. See, those things are going on in the morning. Pumpkin carving at 2. Trick or treat 5 to 7. Both campgrounds must be in costume to participate. So that's going on through the South Carolina state park. So that's pretty cool. So that's, as I said, there it is. It just keeps going on. Anybody that tells me there's not enough going on in Greenwood does not know is not tuned in to what is going on. And this is, what is today? Today is the 23rd. Okay. Today, Costumes and Careers, Thursday, October 23rd from 5:30 to 7. Emerald High School Track, Trick or treat around the track with your favorite Rays, Titans, Vikings, and friends. I went to this last year. This was a lot of fun. I just went to check it out. Don't forget to join Mays, Westview, and Emerald next Thursday night at Emerald High School for their annual Costumes and Careers event. It will be held Thursday, October 23rd from 5:30 to 7. We look forward to seeing everyone there to support our schools and community. They set up all around the track, and there's all kinds of cool stuff there. So that is a good one. That is going on tonight. So there you go. That, I think, is going to... Oh, wait, here's one more. What's this one? I should tell you about this one. This isn't till next week, but it's called... Woo! The Halloween Howl. October 30th, Thursday, 6 to 9. This is brought to you by Connect Lake Greenwood. It's going to be at Break on the Lake. Halloween Howl is on Break at the Lake. Join us Thursday, October 30th, 6 to 9 for a 21 plus, you got to be over 21, night of music, games, and a costume contest hosted by Connect Lake Greenwood. So you can check out more details about that. As I said, there is so much going on. It's just hard for me to keep up anymore, but I try. So get out there, enjoy this glorious weekend. I hope you do get out there and enjoy For the Love, which starts tomorrow evening. This afternoon, I will be interviewing Sherry Biggs at 2 o'clock. We will be doing a pop-up Facebook Live. If you'd like to catch that, that will be available right there live. It'll be right here in my studio, so it'll be very convenient for me. 2 o'clock, and then, of course, this evening is the Patriots Barbecue. Life Flight comes in at 5, and then the barbecue and food starts at 5:30. If you want to get food, you might want to get there early. I'm sure they'll have plenty of food for everybody, but if you want to get there first and find a good seat, probably get there a little bit before 5:30 because it is going to be packed. So, this is a story that just came in, and I did see this. In fact, they're giving an NBA gambling investigation, spans 11 states, but they have just NBA player and coach arrested in wide-ranging gambling investigation. I only bring this up because this is really just breaking news in the last 15 minutes. Indictments against Terry Rozier, a guard for the Miami Heat, and Chauncey Billups, the coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, are expected to be unsealed on Thursday in one of the largest scale investigations in professional sports over the past several years. Excuse me. That is huge. In fact, on Fox right now, they are putting out a presser on that. That's going to do it for me. I hope you all have a great day. As always, thanks for tuning in right here on WCRS Radio. So let's drop the curtain. Let's cue the music. Have a great day.
Keep on sharing.
The phones are open.
Keep on laughing.
Give us a call.
You gotta keep on caring. As long as you've got a voice, don't ever stop. As long as you've got truth, don't ever stop.
You're on the air.
As long as you've got love.
What's on your mind?